Another massive episode on the VGA Esports Talk. I welcome you all to a very intriguing one. As usual, my name is Slimo. I've got two guests here right now. I don't know if we call this one guest again. He's become an in-house person. Usually we don't see his face, but now he's very, very current. So I'll introduce him first. Jabolani will join me for this conversation because it's a very, very vital one. Now, if you know anything about Ghana Esports, or if you want to get in there, there's usually one reference point. And I think everybody will attest to the fact. Anybody who's been here on the VGA Esports show, like you hear a name that keeps recurring. I'm here with that person. I've had a little bit of remarks about myself. Some people call me the face of Ghana Esports. I take it a little bit and I say no. There's someone who's been the true OG face of Ghana Esports. Yeah. He's here in the studios here with us, the president of Esports Association Ghana. Finally, Mr. Kwesi Hayford. Bosco is like everybody calls him. It's great to have you. It's great to have you.
Thank you, Sly.
I mean, everybody just keeps saying a lot of great things about him, but of course his journey didn't start from here. If we start saying where he started from, I'm sure you didn't even have thought of playing video games. But we'll start off. I heard you recently dropped from India or South Korea.
Okay, well, South Korea was last in December.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nigeria, then later on India.
All to like esports
yes,
exploits.
all connected to esports. Yeah. The latter part was much more on social intervention, digital democracy, but I was mainly invited because of I'm the esports president. Yes.
Crazy. So let's do a little bit of the backstory, the journey. Where did it all begin for you? Because I know we all started playing video games, but not just where you started playing video games, where you decided to take it into like something big and create the whole Esports Association, or how did they all come about?
Oh, okay. I mean, before the Esports Association, in school, I would say tech.
And this is which year we are speaking of?
You want to? Oh, well, that is.
Because we spoke to Letty at you. Stay around to us saying something about some years.
Yes, I mean, well, this is in the 2004 there. Well, I mean, yes. I mean, back then it was now the gaming cafes or internet cafes.
Centers,
we're coming. But the game centers have been there for a very long time because whilst I was very young in primary school, I have some kind of interactions with game centers. But then it was for esports, the term esports was just KNUST campus that really got me intrigued about it, and I started following up. And I got to know that Korea was really engaged in StarCraft. I started playing StarCraft. There were certain games that I started playing: Warcraft, StarCraft, Age of Empires. These are games that have 20 years and over, OG's games. But I mean, that got me into. And I also loved graphics, media, anime, tech magazines. So all of that really helped me to get into the esports space. Yeah.
Amazing story. Earlier on, I spoke of reference points. When the VGA Esports show was about to launch, of course, there was also one reference point that we had to go to him. So I'll leave it around because I know he also has a lot on his mind.
Yeah, so first of all, I just want to thank Bosco for he's a very busy man. He just come up from India, so I also know he's very busy. I think when we came to the space, he really gave us a good reception, Charlie. I think our first encounter was Accra Esports Week. After the production, I saw him watching us, asking us, okay, VGA. When we finished the next, even that day, he just told us, okay, once you are done, send it to me. I sent it to him and he called. Charlie, hey, what you guys did, praise you. And that just kept us going because we got accepted into the space as well. For me, there are a lot of questions I want to ask, but the first one would be why taking the role as the Esports Association president.
And then he recently got re-elected as well. So.
Yes, sure. So he has been doing it for some time now. So why that?
I think for most of the leadership roles that I've gotten, even in school, I don't vow for it. So back in KNUST, I was, let's say, as early as second year, I was elected as the publicity secretary for SEC, like the Student Chaplaincy Council. And so basically, when I enter into a space, I befriend people. And why I'm president? I didn't vote myself to be president. Okay. At the time when we were forming the association, I mean, 4 guys came together. It was Aaron Boatin of Playbox, Kobne Uzi Mensah of Virtual Union, I mean, Wonder Kids manager, Rex Dankwa of Betway. At that time, he has an agency called For Change. So then I have my agency called Alista. So the 4 of us came together to form the founding, let's say, fathers of Esports Association. And they said, you have been doing much more, so you become a president. Yes, so that is how I became a president. So, and then afterwards, when we had a lot more members coming up, we did an election because, I mean, I felt it was correct and democratic that the people that you oversee should elect their leader. So we gave the chance. And I honestly, I wanted to run away. You know, I've done it for a long time. I wanted to, and I was tired. You know, sometimes you get tired. And I wanted to run away. And when you did the nomination, nobody stood for president. Nobody selected a presidentship. So the election committee came back to challenge. There's nobody. And I said, okay, I have to. I mean, if there's nobody president and willing to take up the position, then I should stand again. Like I should be re-elected again. So. But I mean, the voting was done. Even though I didn't have an opponent, the voting was done.
And almost everybody wanted you to be president. Yeah, wow. So we are speaking of more than a decade through like esports and gaming. How would you see like the improvement has been like year after year, or like maybe after 5 years? Where you started from, have you seen the improvement as to where esports has gotten to now?
Improvement, I would say, well, it's a gradual process, and esports is not a walk in a park. It's not like planting a corn and hoping that in 3 months you will get your harvest. I would say that esports is like planting a palm oil plantation, you know, and within this palm oil plantation, you have to harvest, you have to nurture a lot of things. I think that there has been quite a number of there's a lot of businesses, or let's say a lot of opportunities springing up. And even I can use VGA as an example. Back then, there wasn't dedicated media outfit doing esports. Now we can count about 15 esports teams that have signed players, produce jerseys for them, you know, and there is more to come. There are platforms, there's Mashada platform, there's Game High platform. So I would say that the space is growing. We may not see it like getting, it's not about the tournament or how big a prize pool is, or how many times we attend to maybe a global event, but we've seen the trajectory growing. And the gamers themselves also becoming more disciplined. We can only hope that a lot more efforts can be, or a lot more investment can come into the space.
It has truly grown. From the time I started, you can see the growth and development. But I just wanted it from like a wider view, because he's been here for like the whole length of time. Now, a lot of people that you deal with are like mainly students, like between the ages of like 20, 21, 22. And sometimes you have to speak to their parents, because you've traveled players outside. I know all of the problems that come with that. Tell us some of the challenges you faced to be able to convince those types of people. Maybe the person is interested in playing the video games. He's very good. He wants to go outside playing a tournament. But of course, the parents will come in. Tell me and give us kind of like the scenarios that you've had to face. Because I know personally, but I wanted to come from his mouth. Just give us that relationship that you've been able to build with player and parent.
I think that, you know, parents are very, very, very careful and protective of their children,
As
and
it
it should be. And esports is also a very new space. It's not something that it's not our culture. You know, technology is not our culture, and esports specifically.
But the thing is, the games are our culture because everybody loves playing.
Everybody loves, but the games your parents know is not the games that you are playing now.
Yeah.
You know, they know the Ampe, Voodoo, or Warrior and stuff like that. If there's a digital version that we can show them and they can participate, they will be more interested in that. But it is not. So, for example, let's say our experience on the Nigerian road.
That was crazy.
You know, the night before the travel of the day, Afo called me and said that he needed for the that was the Apex team.
The Apex team, yes.
So they needed one more player, and the parents says that he want to see. He doesn't want, like, he won't allow the
child to do.
They want to see somebody who is an elderly want to go. So I said, okay. That was like 10 p.m.
10 p.m. and we have to go the next day.
Yes, that was definitely, yes. So I mean, I was really hesitant to go, but for the sake of the guys, they really wanted to go. And I have relationship with almost everybody. Afo, and he has told me about what they know that they will be able to win. I said, no problem. I'm at Spinters. I have to take an Uber to Labadi, go and see the parents, you know. And when you get to the house, there's always one auntie who is, you know, she was like, I won't let him go. But then the mother was, you know, so when they came out, I didn't speak English. I started speaking Fancy. They are Gans. And they got to, I spoke with them that I'm also a father. I have children, you know, and I try to explain to them how long I've done this, that this is not the first time I am taking people out, and I'm taking them and I'll bring them back. So that was the promise I made to them. And when we came back, I went back to see.
Oh, you really went back?
Yes. I and Afo went back to see the parents again. So, I mean, and they won.
They did win.
They did win. And
we're supposed to have them here Afo.
And they did win. So these are some of the issues. But parents, you need to assure them that your whatever the award or child is going to do is profitable. And need to give them the exposure, to give them the mileage. And then also that they will come back safely. Once they know, the same thing happens with, what's his name? Rennie K.
When we were supposed to go to...
When we were going to Saudi.
Saudi, yes.
The mother, I have to speak to the mother. So sometimes people don't know that we have to do all these things as a leader to really calm the parents. And being a parent and being a president, you have to find the right ways to engage.
Because I think we also met them at the airport, Dixon, when we
went even when we came back, the family were a lot more than when they were going.
The reception was crazy. So that's just like the tip of the iceberg of some of the challenges that they do face with parents and all of that. Because there's still the stigma there about gaming and then esports, but he's tried his best to like try and
then we have to
that
even
stigma.
Also demystify the fact that gaming is not gambling or betting or sakawa. You know, sometimes that's the notion that it's betting. So we have to tell them, I mean, we have to let them know that this is skill based. It's not a game of chance, right? So the differentiating is there.
I think another important part is the education, where gaming and education aligns. I know you do a lot of things with schools and then the children. I know your kiddie esports. I see a lot of the activations that you do with them. How important is it to include the schools and then education to everything that you're doing with esports and gaming?
Well, when it comes to esports, I mean, you can also say educational sports. But for me, when it comes to children, I think that we must prioritize education. And the technology that propels esports or within the esports space, a lot needs to be learned. For us, most of us, is the kind of passion we have for the games. We learn, using the tools. So for children, I mostly want to work with the education route and the basic of things, reading, coloring, puzzles. I mean, things that will get, and parents are like, when kids play too much games, they will get sports
addicted, and
they will become dropouts and stuff like that. So once they see that we can combine education with esports or gaming, they become a little bit more lighter and acceptable. So when we created the approach of where books and games, it becomes more educational value or a proposition to the parent and to schools. And schools don't normally have an idea of what gaming is. But when you can show them that the learning principles, the team management principles in gaming, all the other skill sets they can learn via gaming can be deployed within the educational setup, then they become acceptable to them.
And I think a lot of people have also taken it into their own hands and are doing amazing things with the educational sector. We've seen Canvey Gaming School tour that they are doing. Play Province has also announced that they are doing something with schools Academy, and everything. Yes, so it's really important that we got that out of the way. I think Aram, you had something for him before I was about to
me, let me say, what would be the advice you give to people coming to the space? Maybe it could be tournament directors, tournament organizers, like even media as well. What advice would you give them? For me, I've seen our part, I've seen our challenges, but what advice would you give us?
Advice
to a new person.
To a new person coming. I think that beyond the passion of having the love for gaming, you need to learn, and consistent learning. You need to learn and unlearn certain things. You just don't. You have the passion to play the game. You have the passion to watch the game. You have the passion to interact with the game, but also learn the new technologies that are coming. But I believe, technology is forever evolving. And if you even look at the latest AI technology, it's being run on NVIDIA. What is NVIDIA? It's a gaming the top of the notch gaming graphics company in the world. They produce NVIDIA graphics card can buy a whole car. But guess what? A gamer can buy that and use it in his PC set. I would say that learn to unlearn. Have the passion, but learn to unlearn. You need to learn more. I mean, my next question would be to VGA. How are you even leveraging AI? How are you, because these are new technology, how are you leveraging new platform to make sure that your content is reaching? How are you even studying the algorithms behind, the insight behind your post? And you can use AI to really determine, okay, this post did well, this post didn't well. What were the metrics and how can we? Because you definitely need to learn all these things. And there are new technologies out there that you can use and leverage on to really. So if you are coming into the space, learn so much. Have the passion for the space, but learn.
The part about learning when you're about to join the esports space, I think it was also very important to me because when I joined, I think almost everybody saw me play. Like, we're all playing the video games, but then you kept telling us that there's something beyond playing. Like, if it's not just playing that you want to play, you can do other things. So there was the casting people, those who wanted to do media and all of that. So I think it's very, very important. But now we've gotten to the stage where I'm sure everybody's wondering when we'll ask that question. That question has to come. Right? I've gotten to the stage where a lot of people are joining. Like he was saying, if you want to join, you have to learn. So if someone is trying to learn, he'll learn that I've seen an Esports Association of Ghana. I've seen another federation somewhere. So he's learning, and what he's learning might confuse him a little bit. So just kindly enlighten us what the person should know about these two organizations, I'll call them.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, in every ecosystem are stakeholders, or what probably you code name now as institutions that help to regulate, bring formality into the space. And we chose to be an association because we thought that it's better to bring stakeholders. And our association, if you look at it, we are very broad spectrum of people. So even if you are not with, let me say, quote unquote, an esports entity, there are ways to come inside, come into as a member. In Ghana now, I would say that with no words missing, there are two kinds of federations. One, you need to know that there is Ghana Esports Federation and there is Esports Federation Ghana. The two are not the same. One is an officially registered business entity with that name. So you need to find out who has the name Ghana Esports Federation. If you go to the registrar general, you will know. You know the address, their details. And anybody using, let's say, Esports Federation Ghana, they are also there. Okay, so you just have to. The key thing is that for us as an association, we try to work with legitimate bodies, right? With the right people who are there working to make sure that the space is open and the space is really connected to the businesses that are building the space. So that is all I would say about federation and association. But I would just say that if you need to find out more, you can always ask get to our socials and ask, and as an association that deals with the grassroots, we'll have the information and we can give it to you.
So for all those who've been bothering me about those questions, I hope you had at least an answer that you wanted. I think you wanted to ask something.
All right, so I think the topic he just tagged on be one topic we've always been discussing about, because you always bring some kind of conflict at some point. I don't know if you'll be willing to maybe delve in more.
Oh no! I mean, this is I'm here to make sure that I give a lot of information as much as possible, and it shouldn't be that we should withhold certain information. I think that is right and proper that the public knows what is happening, so that we can bring clarity to the space. You see, the thing is that it's only when we don't speak out the correct things that the wrong things get promoted. And a lot of things on social media, you get the wrong side of you see people saying stuff or posting stuff with and the community go like, but we don't know this, or we haven't heard of this, or we haven't seen these people, but they are saying. And I always say that gaming communities are very, very smart. You know, gamers are very smart too, and that's what people, and they read between the lines. You can't just lord it over them. And nowadays, computers don't lie. If I say I've taken people to Saudi and I haven't,
there's the evidence.
There's the evidence is there, and that's one of the things that I always say about VGA. And I've made it not because I'm here that I'm saying this, that you know, our history or our trajectory is being recorded in film, sound, and audio, because it is there. It is only. It is if even I can't say it. The videos are there. Our going, our coming. I mean, the girls going, the eFootball. Those videos I play them most of the time because they are people times where we have never sent people outside the country. This number of people are that. Afro-Arab. We talk about 14, 12, 13, 14, almost me together.
I mean, forgot that you,
Boss Max also went.
Jefferson also went. Like there were a lot of.
You understand? And it is. These are the history points by which we can say that these are the things that we've done. I mean, look at the people that we've sent out. Achunaye, MBO, medicine. You know, then let's come and talk about the GFA side. Prince Jonas, Guy Kobe, Wonder Kid, Kennedy. You understand? These are all people that through gaming and esports have had opportunity to travel. Give them exposure, because once you travel, there is an exposure you get that none of the locals have gotten,
especially at the competition level too.
It's you have to look at it the same way you look at international football, professional football. Once a local player moves out to play in the European League, he all of a sudden his value
The
grows.
stocks are rising. Yes.
Understand? One of the most saddest moments for me last year was also because of this Federation Association thing when the NBA 2K guys couldn't travel. And it was just a very trivial matter. Trivial matter. You know, and if we don't see beyond our own pride and ego that we are the custodians of esports, so we will not allow certain people. It doesn't help the community, and it breaks the community. You know, it doesn't help the players who want to play in the highest level, and it breaks the community.
Okay. So for
the answer your question, you still get more.
a lot to say, because with the eFIBA one, I think I reached out to you as well, and I also reached out to the federation as well, and I think everybody was having his own story. But at the end of the day, I just felt, so how do we put a stop to such things? Because it could happen again. And you know, for me, for VG, I always believe in players' welfare. Because I always tell you that, Charlie, I feel the players are the product, and they do this to get recognized through tournaments like this. So for you to just deny them, we just like
trivial matters.
Yeah, Charlie. So,
and it was heartbreaking for the players, because
seriously,
I knew of their captain Elak, who could have had a chance to play for Germany. Decided not to, wanted to play for Ghana because he had played the previous year. They were this close to making the finals in Sweden, and then he wanted to play.
I think it will even affect you as a caster.
Because I also had the opportunity.
to also cast on it. So for me, I don't know. What are the measures being put in place to avoid this happening?
That's a big question.
Well, I mean,
I'll say one of the measures is coming on here and speaking about
it. Making it public. I mean, there have been instances. If you saw on our path have crossed on many platforms where. You remember crossover?
Now.
Yes, the All Africa Games and the crossovers too. You saw the Federation president there. Well, it's a matter of not antagonizing each other, but I think being responsible and respect and bringing respect, because I won't come to social media to come and say that their work they are doing is not right. I respect their work, let them do it. But if it's a matter of being able to respect each other and say, okay, I mean, what do you want? The only way is to come to the table with a clean sheet. But I think the most important thing is respect each other's space. And respect gradually builds trust. If I respect you, eventually I'll come to trust you. Then we can build a space where the players. But we should always put the community first. I mean, that's one principle that I've always. And even the NBA, I sent a message to the Ghana Basketball Association. To the guy who was in charge, I told him, look, I don't care if you don't go through me. Just sign the document for them to let the players go. But delayed and didn't happen.
A lot of people come to me and ask me, like, every single time, where do you see yourself in the next few years? And for me, of course, because I really love casting on esports games, I'll say, of course, casting at the highest level. What's the plan that you've got for esports athletes and hardcore gamers within the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years?
I think we need, for me, if there's a crystal ball that I need to look into, I think that I see esports in the Resetting Ghana agenda, and I believe that we need more leagues. We need more, because we need more very structured programming or calendar of activities in the country, because the calendar of activities brings business. One, it gives exposure to the players. Two, it gives exposure to sponsors as well. Then it is well structured. So it also gives a trajectory of how players from, let's say, school level enter into professional teams or amateur league, then enter into professional league, then elite league and all that. So there's a system that needs to run, right? And currently, because we don't have financial backing, from anywhere, especially from the government, it's very difficult. And when you look at most of the developed world, like Saudi, South, even let's come to Africa and look at Morocco. It's because the Moroccan government is backing them. They are not waiting for, let's say, a bigger sponsor. If, let's say, today, Ghana government says that we're going to support the Esports League as the basic digital framework for developing skill sets. Empower teams. How many teams do we have? If all these teams, from Canvic to the newest, there's the new Provela Esports. They are going to get, let's say, a certain amount to develop their esports. And that's what, even if you look at the Esports World Cup, they are giving money to the clubs.
And
the clubs,
Esports Club Foundation.
Yes.
Esports World Cup
and
Foundation.
the clubs then empowers what? The players. So I'm hoping that, if African government, even AU or all these big African entities, will see that, okay, yes, this is one way of, and it's not a rocket science, it's being done somewhere. So we can replicate it here. For me personally, I'm already on the African level, so with the African Esports, Confederation of African Esports, which I believe is, with a membership of 45 countries, that's the de facto body of engagement. And in coming this year, we will host our own African Esports Championship, which is not a qualifier for IESF. So now a lot more of the countries. Last year it was just 17 countries, but this year it will all be the 45 countries. And it will be the games that we love to play in Africa. It will not be games like, we don't know and we are trying to. And most of the time when we go for these, I thought you were going to ask me that question, but if you have
there's one last question on my mind. Maybe
we don't catch.
Yes.
Well, so what I see in the next 2 or 5 years to come, maybe is to see that government get involved in our space. The reason why I personally love esports so much that it's a solution to many things. I recently did a post on Winning Red. Esports can give these young people Winning Red an opportunity to rehab. You get it? And I think that the esports community is always a welcoming space.
It is very, very welcome.
So far as you know how to play the game and you're willing
and even if you don't know how to play,
they're willing to teach you,
you.
And that bonding can really create an atmosphere for these drag, and they won't get the time to what go and do drag.
You mentioned of league earlier on, and one question just had to pop in my mind because every time I go for FC tournaments and even at the grade, we're seeing an act. So a couple of years ago, Nigeria got a license to, develop their FC Pro League. So now, when you win the Nigerian league, you can go on there and play in the FC Pro League. Recently, we also saw Morocco also get theirs. They are actually still currently playing theirs. We haven't seen too many African countries get there. So everybody's been asking me, Sly, what are you guys doing to be able to get like our licensed league, and then we'll have our own Ghana FC Pro League where if the winner wins, he gets a chance to also play in the qualifiers out there.
Good question.
I think that we as an institution work with the institutional bodies of the games, the physical sports. Okay. So GFA is a partner, and we are always in consultation with them. 2-3 weeks back, we're supposed to have hosted the E-Club Championship, GFA E-Club Championship. That means it will be basically the same. The clubs in the esports ecosystem, then also getting maybe the Premiership club also joining. But it was around that same time Blaster needed to play the
World Cup qualifiers.
So it was shielded, and so we are. My VP Max is working with the GFA to see if we can bring it on stream. Lankwe, who is at GFA, is also he's a gamer, so he understands that we need to get these accreditation or licenses. So we will push for it very soon, probably in the next couple of months. We should have a good news from GFA. Then we will also pass it on to the committee. But I think it starts with the E-Club Championship.
So for all of those who've been asking me, there's your response. But I think I've exhausted my questions for
me,
now.
I think I have 2 questions. It's just a question and a follow-up question. So for me, I see Bosquez every time, and I'm very proud of you, Charlie. Since you came to the space, seeing you at tournament, your dedication, the passion you have for this space. Charlie is a family man. He has started my family no kid, but he has started mixing it with all this. I was just ask, what has been your proudest moment so far in the space?
Hey, can I?
I think traveling with 30 people has to be a contender.
Because for me, I can pinpoint a lot, but I know personally you have your own.
I think my proudest moment. Well, I have so many, but let me kickstart it from the very old. My proudest moment was seeing Wonder Kid in Electronic Sports World Cup in France, 2016, I believe. It was, a moment for me to see in 2010, we tried sending people to ESWC. Now, Esports World Cup. At that time, we've done qualifiers, we went to the embassy. One person got the visa and they bounced 2 of us. That's a story we will tell later. But that was a moment for me to say, oh, okay, it's possible, and apart from that, there's been so many, then also there was this moment where the Ghana International Book Fair awarded an esports outfit with an award, and I think that, that was also one proudest moment because who have thought that video games can function in a book or library or as an activation for children, So, but apart from that, the international travels, they are okay, but I think that every day I see a new club spring up. And they reach out to me and say, oh, we need this, and we're trying to form a club, and I'm able to help them. And then I see them performing, now they have players, their players have jerseys, and they are part of a tournament. Those are proudest moment for me.
All right. For me, the follow-up question would be, so we've talked about the challenges. I've also heard about it. I learned at the point in time you even sold your car to even find the challenge. Someone give me that key. I just want to ask, looking back on all this, right? Will you go back if they have to tell you to go back in time to take the role as an esports president?
Will you take it again?
Yeah, will you take it again? Looking at all these challenges.
I think it's not a matter of leadership or titles. It's a matter of what you have in your heart and what you want to do. Because it doesn't really, if it is in your destiny to do something, you go all out. It's not whether you have the title of a chairman, a president, or CEO. You do it because you know that not that it comes easy to you, but it fulfills you. And any esports event I attend, any invitation I get to go to represent the association or to represent gamers in a nutshell, I'm excited to be there because it's all for it. Some people's giftings is maybe music, some maybe art and maybe painting. Mine is esports, gaming.
Massive. Well, what a wonderful conversation that was. Before we wrap it up, I'll leave it to the president himself if you've got any last few words for our esports family and community.
Well, I mean, I know gaming is a difficult space to be. It's also very expensive to be. Data is not cheap, and a lot of gamers out there.
Consoles are not cheap.
Consoles are not cheap. Yeah, a lot of gamers want to be their best and reach their highest optimum. They shouldn't give up. You know, it's a constant space that we're trying to build, and I think that we need to create the build resilience, build a passion, and continue to do what we love to do. Currently, VGA Esports Show is our go-to for kind of information. I think that you guys are doing well.
Thank you so much. We are good. Everything is good. We couldn't get all of the questions because there are a lot. But with him, I'm sure almost every esports event, he's always there. You can walk up to him and then ask him. One of the most outgoing persons I know. But that will bring us to the end of this wonderful, wonderful conversations. I just hope your question that you wanted, we're able to get it out there. If you didn't get it, you can go on to him and then ask him. But on the VGA Esports Talk, our reference point, as I call him, Mr. Kwesi Hayford, President, Esports Association of Ghana, joining us here today. Till we catch you next time, all we say is play video games during this lovely holiday time to go on and enjoy. We'll see you another time.